It is day 39, and these days are going quick, man. Honestly, it kind of worries me because I'm like, where the fuck is the time going? I'm gonna be retiring. I'm gonna be like retiring, having like grandkids soon. Jesus Christ. Anyway, makes it that ever more important to make the most of the time that I have. Anyway, day 39, and last night, as I said, if you watched yesterday's video, I said I would use this notepad to write some stuff down. So I did that. I did more than that, in fact, and I also kind of realized some stuff. So I thought I would just run through everything on here. So just to run you through it, I said last night that the best way to, if you want to create discipline, you've got to know what you're creating discipline for. If you don't know what you're getting discipline for, like if you don't know what you're going for, then how are you going to be disciplined? Like, you don't just get up and just do it when you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You know, what are you working towards? If you don't know that, then where's the motivation to actually be disciplined going to come from? It's just being disciplined for the sake of being disciplined, which isn't going to work. So you've got to define what your goals are, and you've also got to formulate a plan so you know where that discipline is going and how to use that discipline and what to be disciplined for. So with that, I said I would write some stuff in this notebook, and on this notebook I have done 2 A4 size pages, one of which I haven't finished yet, purely because I don't want to rush it, and I can't. I'll explain, but I don't know what to put on this side. And then on this side, you've got the vehicle. So we've got on goals on one side, so immediate goals in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, whatever I'm going to put on the goals side. And then you've got the vehicle to get to those goals. So, and I've done it as like a mind map format. I'll show you in a second. But you've got stuff like gym, you've got investing, you've got Lifted, which is the agency I work right now, working with influencers and stuff. My personal brand, miscellaneous, finances. So, like how to optimize finances when you get income, like maybe spend 20%, save and don't spend the extra 80%. Obviously, it depends on your living expenses, but live below your means as best as you can and just build capital, because that is how you're going to leverage money to allow stuff to work for you and to work smart as opposed to working hard and getting. And yeah, if you work smart and you invest money to do things for you, it's going to give you a lot more time, and you're also going to be able to leverage more and more and more and more and more, and therefore you're going to stack cash. Simple as that. So yeah, personal brand, also the TikTok Creator Fund, stuff like that. And then also on this page, I wrote down a to-do list of certain things just in general. They're not like daily to-do list. It's like a not long-term, but like immediate to-do list that I've got to kind of like do relatively soon. They're not small jobs. It's just like things that I've got to complete. And then also I'm going to get onto this a bit later, but I've done a kind of a schedule for a dopamine detox just to add a bit more structure to it, rather than just saying I'm just going to do a dopamine detox, and also formulate a day around how I'm actually going to format my day. And then in the time periods that I set to do a specific task, I'm going to stick to those time periods for a long period of time until, just for that day. And I've done a hard schedule and an easy schedule. So for the days where I'm having an off day, rather than just being completely everywhere and not knowing what I'm doing and just completely like ruining that whole day because you've completely lost the schedule around it, I've made it a lot easier to stay somewhat scheduled. It's a lot more chilled day. Obviously there's still work that I do, but if I'm having an off day, rather than just having an off day and going into my usual habit of being like, yeah, it's an off day, fuck this, I'm not doing anything, I have at least a bit of structure around it, and know what I'm going to do in the times where it's a lot harder, right, rather than just doing nothing. And I know you might say, well, fuck it, you've got to learn to be hardcore all the time. That's what some of the online gurus would say, and of course that is somewhat of the case, and I agree with that. But to an extent, like, it's easy to say that, but it's not easy to pull through with that, especially straight away. Obviously you build on it, and the more you do hard things, the easier they become. So it's just a case of allowing myself to, if I am going to fall back somewhat on a day, to have at least have a bit of structure behind it to actually do it. But I'll get to that. Anyway, on these 2 pages, I've done it like this. So it's not fully done. But anyway, this is the goals page, and this is the vehicles to achieve those goals. So on here, I'll have the immediate, I have 5-year, and then I'll have 10-year here, which I haven't done yet. And then on the other page is the vehicles to which I'm going to use to get me to these goals. So it kind of like just basically clarifies everything that I'm kind of like thinking about, and I'll have it all written down here, and I know what to work on, which again relieves somewhat of a bit of anxiety around like, what am I doing? Why am I worried? What am I anxious about? And then I can just go ham on the solution to that, basically. So it just allows a lot more clarity of mind, basically. But yeah, I've done it as like mind maps. So you have vehicle, and then you have goals. It's like a little thing, just kind of clarify which page is which. And then on here, you've got all of the vehicles to get you to where you want to get to. So I've got the gym, I've got whatever. And then on my immediate goals, it's stuff like get a specific build in the gym, so lose weight, whatever, or build a certain standard of muscle, make enough to automate all of my social medias, so automate my YouTube channel. I literally just record it, send it to an editor, have the editor post it on my channel maybe, and then also have a thumbnail maker do it. Literally just automate like that, and that isn't that expensive to do once you know what you're doing and you have the right people doing it. And then it's other stuff like that I want to do personally. For example, pay for a house for my whole family to go on holiday to for like a week in Spain or something like that. I think that would be a really, really cool thing to do. Just pay for a house, and then all of my family, I can even maybe pay for the flights, and they all just fly out and they spend the week there, and all they got to pay for is the food while they're there, which I think would just be, yeah, that's the kind of thing I want to make money for. Those kind of experiences, not buying the next Louis Vuitton rucksack. Like, I really couldn't give a fuck about that shit. And then just being able to treat and repay my parents, have a personal brand, as I say, stuff like that. It's just immediate goals, the ones that are out of reach right now, but I don't really need millions to do, right? It's like you just need a bit of cash flow to do that. And obviously when you have that cash flow and you're investing in stuff like building a personal brand, it's just going to keep coming up and up and up and up. It's the same thing as working smart. You get people to do it for you. I'm not bad at editing videos, nor am I bad at photo editing, like editing on Photoshop. I'm not amazing. And there are people that are skilled in certain areas, and that's why you hire certain people to do certain jobs, because they're a lot better than you are at those jobs. And also you can't do everything yourself, so you're going to have to offload some stuff, and that's how you work smart as opposed to working hard. So yeah, that's that. And then immediate goals, and then the next 5 years is have a house that I own. So that's my base, and then I can go everywhere from that base, rather than living where I am right now, admittedly with my parents, which I go away from quite often, like to different countries. But this is my base, and I'd rather have my own base, and then leave from there. You know, just moving forward in life. It's simple fucking things, but it's just reasons to work towards. Like, this is what I'm working towards, and this is what I'm doing to get to those things. Simple as that. And then on the other side, you've got vehicle, which is lifted, investing, gym, finances, personal brand, miscellaneous, TikTok, influencers, whatever. Simple things like that. So basically, what am I going to tunnel vision on to get to these goals? And there's nothing else I should really be worrying about other than the things that are on this sheet in regards to being productive. So it's just covering all of that and knowing that as long as I'm doing one of these things, I'm being productive, quote unquote productive. So yeah, I've kind of just covered that, but I think that's the best way to kind of clarify your goals and get to where you want to get to. So I don't think there's much more I need to clarify there. It's basically, if I was doing this as any of you guys, I would literally, if anyone's actually watching this, being like, oh, you know what, I'm going to do this. You put your, just clarify again, you put your goals on this page. Well, it doesn't really matter which page you do it on, but goals here, that says goals, there, and then you have vehicle here, and then you have the goals here. So why are you being disciplined? Why are you working towards? What are you working towards? And then on here you have the vehicle to get to those goals, right? Just clears everything up. It just makes you so much more clear-minded. You know what you've got to work on and why you're doing it. Simple as that. Anyway, moving on to more big things. I'm gonna do a dopamine detox from tomorrow. I'm just gonna go all out. I'm gonna go all fucking out because I'm finding myself getting so distracted on my computer. My phone isn't an issue because I've literally got everything blocked until 7 o'clock every day, so it's not a problem. My phone, I don't really have too much of an urge to go on it, but on my computer. I go, my if I get stressed or bored, like, or anything that I'm just kind of like worried about and I have to like deeply think about, I just kind of avoid that thought and avoid that thing that I'm worried about. And then to do that, I go on Twitter. It's just my default thing. It's just a subconscious thing. I just go straight onto Twitter. I don't know why I'm going to Twitter. I'll literally be typing it in knowing I don't want to go on it, but I still go on it. So I'm going to intentionally not go on Twitter. I'm not going to block it, because I think if you're intentional about it and you know that you don't want to go on it, if you go through the pain of getting rid of that habit, you're going to teach your brain not to go on it, as opposed to blocking it as well. To which, if it's still available to you and you're telling yourself not to go on it, you're going to actually get rid of that habit, as opposed to just blocking it with it kind of being there. You're going to teach yourself not to go on Twitter. You're going to teach yourself not to go on YouTube, rather than just blocking it and just not being able to go on it. And then you're just going to easily just relapse and fall back on your bad habits as soon as you unblock it. So I'm going to intentionally do that. Now, dopamine detox is going to be a bit different. I've somewhat done it in the past, but what I'm going to do is, rather than doing a full detox, what I'm going to do is use the dopamine intentionally. So obviously, I'm not going to sit here and watch Netflix, because it's not going to get me anywhere. I don't even watch that anyway, but it's just an example. But what I am going to do is, for example, if my family say to me, do you want to watch a film? And I'm in the position to do so that day, I'm going to do that, because I'm using my time intentionally. It's something of value. If I want to go on social media, I've got to do it for a specific period of time, and I've also got to know what I'm doing on social media when I go on it, as opposed to just aimlessly going on it to do nothing. The same goes for YouTube. I go on YouTube to post a YouTube video and maybe to watch some intentional stuff that I want to educate myself on, because YouTube is a very good university. It's a very good educator if you use it properly, but it can also be a very, very big time grab as well. So you've got to use it properly. So yeah, dopamine detox wise, I'm just going to keep everything accessible, but intentionally block it and teach myself not to go on it, because as you do harder things, and the things that you want to do the least, they're going to ingrain as somewhat of a habit, and you're going to be getting better at doing hard things. And the same goes with easy things. If you stop doing them, your dopamine baseline is going to go down, up, whatever, and you're going to find doing hard work a lot more fulfilling than you currently do, and it's going to be so much easier to not get distracted. So that's my kind of thought process. But with that, I'm going to start doing this schedule come I think Monday next week. The reason I don't say tomorrow is because, one, it's pretty late right now, but also, as I say, I'm watching something on Thursday night, to which I won't go to bed until pretty late, and with that I will wake up somewhat late as well. So I know it's bad, but then again, it's not. It doesn't happen every day. But after that, my schedule is, I'm going to go for the hard schedule on the dopamine detox. And again, it's the same schedule for easy, but I'll get to that. But dopamine detox, so I wake up at 6 a.m. 6:30 a.m. I have a coffee and then deep work on lifted at 6:30 a.m. I have in at 6 to 6:30 a.m. All I do is have a shower and get a coffee, because I don't eat until after I've gone to the gym. I mean, I didn't eat until 2 p.m. today because I don't actually get hungry anymore. It's weird. And then I do that until 9:30, so that's 3 hours of deep work. 9:30 I go to the gym. I've given myself two hours allocation for that. Sometimes my gym sessions take longer, sometimes they're shorter. It depends on what I'm doing. Then I can get home, somewhat chill, have obviously the protein intake after my gym session, just kind of like reset. And then obviously have lunch and whatever. And then at 1 p.m. I work on influences and lifted again. That's fine. Come 5 p.m., which is a bit more chilled, I'm then working on my personal brand, newsletter, any YouTube scripts that I want to do, because I want to start uploading consistent YouTube videos. I'm going to start doing that now. That aren't these like proper edited ones, like the one that I did prior, and actually try and build a brand with that rather than just doing these videos. I'll do these videos on top of that, but I'll do both. And then come 7 p.m, I will then chill, unwind, read this book as well as any other books. unwind, do whatever. Just do whatever, but do it intentionally. Don't just sit there and scroll through TikTok, right? And then come 10 p.m. I go to bed, and 6 a.m. I wake up. So that gives me 8 hours of sleep, which is all I need. I don't need more. Don't need less, because 8 hours is the optimal amount of sleep. So yeah, but then also I've done an easy schedule. So if I wake up, so it was like non-negotiable, I wake up at 6 a.m., right? But this kind of, if I do somewhat fall back, I can then have this same schedule, but just apply to the time that I wake up at. So say I wake up, so this right now is 6 a.m. wake up, 6:30 a.m. I do the non-negotiable of outreaching or gaining 50 influencer leads. So literally just influencers. Come 8:30 a.m. I go to the gym, and then I give myself 2 hours again for that. I get home, I work on influencers again until 1 p.m. And then 1 p.m. I have lunch, I chill until 2:30 p.m. I do influencers until 1 p.m. So that gives me 2.5 hours to do that. And then 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. I am just having lunch and chilling, just kind of resting. And then from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'm doing personal brand. So just newsletter, YouTube videos, whatever it may be. I know it might sound naive of me not to do short form content, but I'm starting small, and I think YouTube is the most leverageable one for me to do right now. So I'm just going to focus on YouTube and my newsletter. So there's that. And then at 4 p.m. I just chill and unwind. And I know you might say, mate, you're only working for 2, 3.5, 4, 5 hours that day. But it's an off day. It's a day when I'm feeling like shit and I can't be asked to do anything. And rather than saying to myself, right now at least, I'm feeling like shit, who gives a fuck, let's work 16 hours. It's not going to be productive work. If I can make it somewhat easy and start small, I can obviously tune this up. But on a day where I'm feeling like shit, I can just do that bare minimum, and I'm just going to be productive regardless. And it's not going to be the best day ever, but you're going to have it's that showing up thing. As long as you show up, there's that image of like a load of circles with a certain amount of water in them, and it's like day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 1 is like the circle is full of water, and it's the amount of effort you put in, the amount of work you've done, productivity you've done that day. The next day is like a quarter full. The day after that is like a third full. The day after that is like 3/4 full. It's the art of showing up and doing the best you can on that day. And I know it's kind of like that naivety of work-life balance, which I agree with and don't agree with at the same time. It just depends on what kind of stage in life you're in, and what kind of season in life you're in. You're either working hard or you're somewhat chilling. I think that's the best way to do it, rather than, there's balances. I'm going to be misinterpreted entirely from saying what I've just said, but yeah, that's my kind of take on that. But yeah, these are the days where I'm feeling like shit, but I still turn up, And as long as I do this, these hours allow me to still fulfill more than the bare minimum that I can do. So it allows me to just still show up, and I've got to get to this goal. So we go, and then yeah, I've got non-negotiables of uploading 3 TikToks, getting 50 influencer leads, whatever, and then 50 other leads. But basically, that's my schedule. And though that schedule can be tampered with, say I were to wake up at 8 a.m. one day because I go to bed too late, I could then start the schedule at 8 a.m. rather than 6 a.m. But my intention is to start at 6 a.m. and that will start from Monday next week, because I have nothing to do from Monday next week. So Monday next week, it will be 6 a.m. every day. I will post it on my YouTube channel with a post stating what I'm going to do. Like, no, not what I'm going to do, but the fact that I've woken up at 6 a.m. I'll take a photo of... I've got a clock somewhere. That clock just there. I'll take a photo of it or whatever. Just to prove it as a community post, and I'll just do it every day. And we'll go from there, because I feel like when I wake up early, I'm so productive because I get so much shit done in the morning and I feel so good about myself, especially when I go to bed. So, yeah, with that said, I don't think there's much more for me to kind of go over. I feel like I saved something earlier on Twitter, and I know I'm same problem because I said I wouldn't go on Twitter, and I'm sat here on Twitter reading a quote out. But sometimes Twitter can be somewhat productive. It's just you've got to use it with intention. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, thank you for watching this series. Seriously appreciate it. We are cooking. I mean, I'm getting followers on Twitter saying how thankful they are for my series and stuff like this, and how it's motivating them and all this kind of stuff. So stuff like that just motivates me so much more to keep going. Yeah, so we just keep going, and yeah, other than that, I think I've kind of gone over everything. It's just being disciplined, and as I said, dopamine detox. I'm not going to be going on Twitter until a certain time that I sort, because I get nothing from it. But sometimes I had to outreach on Twitter, so that is the where it kind of like gets intertwined and I get a bit fucked. But yeah, dopamine detox. Obviously, the things that give me cheap dopamine, like junk food, social media, whatever it may be, limiting that as much as I can and being aware of it and where that comes from. Mainly YouTube, Twitter. Those are the two main ones. I honestly, they're my two biggest problems. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's stated. I don't think there's much more to kind of go over, but just being aware of the dopamine sources and not aimlessly scrolling through my phone, and also when I'm working, face the stress and boredom that I have. I literally wrote a blog on it. If you want to check out the blog, it is in my description. It's on my Medium. I'm going to tell you what it's called. I think it's called... I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to tell you. This is so bright. This habit is holding you back significantly. It's rarely spoken about. I'll link that. I'll link the blog in the top of the description. You can go check that out. But yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm going to again limit dopamine as much as I can. Most of it, as I say, most of it comes from YouTube and Twitter. So I'm just going to not go on that until certain times. Dopamine detox. Just minimize dopamine as much as I can, unless it's a time where I'm doing something with family or whatever it may be that actually is intentional use of this dopamine, right? So yeah, and the best way to get rid of a habit is to go through the pain of avoiding that thing. So like, I'm going to have the urge to go on Twitter. The more I tell myself not to go on Twitter and I don't go on Twitter, the easier it's going to get over time. It's the same with everything else. You've just got to face that thing, and the pain is part of that, of getting rid of the habit, basically. So I've just got to deal with it, and we move. So that's that said. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to get up at a decent time tomorrow, and then I get started with this same schedule from the time that I wake up, which will probably be 8 a.m. or something. We'll see. At 9 a.m. whatever. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. It's been 23 minutes, and probably wondering why I'm wearing glasses. I don't wear glasses. They're glasses that a lot of people think are pretty goofy, but they're blue light blocking glasses. So whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching. I feel like I've waffled too much. You get the idea. I do highly recommend writing down all of your thoughts, your goals, and your vehicles to get to your goals on a piece of paper, as well as any thoughts that you have in your head. Just every thought that you have in your head that's currently worrying you, write them all down. Incredibly valuable. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow night. Appreciate you. Day 39, day 40 tomorrow. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I'm serious. We're slowly getting motivated. Not motivation, we're getting momentum here. So appreciate you, boys. See you tomorrow night. Peace. Thank you.